There's a few really good points of conversation I think you brought up. One of them being, I started out talking about all the benefits for us as the user and the person who's struggling with sleep. But I think an overlooked piece of that is, what about the people that were sleeping next to us? And so it's
Hmm.
not something that just affects us. Like all of that really translates to, like you said, better relationships. And better relationships obviously help everything. Happy wife, happy life. And so not only your own health, but the quality of your relationship at home, I think, is better when you're sleeping better and they're sleeping better. So talk a little bit about like what is it now when people have that initial, well, that sounds a little crazy to put it on. When you dig deep into the science of it, what is some of the science of why taping up your mouth actually makes you sleep better and feel better?
Yeah, so I'll keep this just really simple. So a couple of key points that I like to talk about. So the first one is when you breathe through your nose, you're actually getting more oxygen than when you breathe through your mouth. Now that sounds counterintuitive. Most people would think, wait a minute, if I'm breathing in and out of my mouth, I'm getting more air. So that doesn't make any sense, Alex, right? But it actually boils down to the scientific principle called the Bohr effect. Okay. And real simply, it basically states that there's a one for one exchange of CO2 and oxygen. And our body needs CO2 to pull in the oxygen. Okay. So imagine then, right? I'm breathing in and out of my mouth. I might be pulling more air in, but I'm exhaling more CO2. So there's less CO2 in my body. Okay. Any oxygen that I pull in, my body can't use because there's no CO2 there, right? For the exchange. But now if I shut my mouth, okay, slow down the amount I'm exhaling, now I've got more CO2 for the oxygen that's coming in. So now more efficiently gets transported to my muscles for energy. And so essentially, when you breathe through your nose, you're actually getting less air in your body, but you're more efficiently pulling in more oxygen. Okay. Now, secondly, is when you breathe through your nose, you're triggering the release of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator, opens up the blood vessels, help blood move, all that kind of good stuff starts to happen there. Okay. And the other part of that is when you're breathing out of your mouth, you're putting your body into a stress state. So it thinks it's in like this fight or flight state constantly. Okay. Versus when it's shut, now your body's much more relaxed. Again, you've got the nitric oxide being released, right? The blood flowing, and your body is in a more relaxed state. Doesn't feel like it's in this stressed fight or flight state. Okay. And then when you breathe through your nose, you're filtering the air and you're warming the air. You're humidifying the air. Our lungs like warm, humid air, okay, to be able to pull the oxygen in. But when it comes into our mouth, it's very dry, it's dirty, and not efficient for the oxygen transfer into our body. And then lastly is a kind of an oddball one that you wouldn't expect. It keeping our mouth shut protects our teeth and it reduces cavities. Okay, and the reason is when you are mouth breathing, you're drying out the saliva, and the saliva has good bacteria in it, and it protects the enamel of our teeth and also reduces like dragon breath when you wake up in the morning. A crazy story is I went to the dentist, like, I don't know, maybe within the last year, and I don't go to the dentist that often, and I admittedly don't take the best care of my teeth. I brush twice a day, but I don't floss my teeth like we're supposed to, and all those other things. So very minimal, right? Brush twice a day. So I hadn't been to the dentist for maybe a few years, like probably 2, 3, 4 years prior to that. Okay. I don't go as often as I should. The only time I ever go is when I'm supposed to take the kids in to the dentist, and then, the wife signs me up for a cleaning kind of a thing. Right. So I go in, and again, remember, it had been multiple years before my last cleaning. So I go in, and she's measuring my gums, my teeth, and she's like, oh, wow. I'm like, what? What's going on? Like, your teeth look great. Like your gums have, when you're not taking care of your teeth, your gums recede and they get, less. My gums had healed and everything was way healthier than it was the last time they saw me. So she goes, what have you been doing? And I haven't been doing anything. The only thing I've been doing is mouth taping every night, and I'm not mouth breathing at night. And that was it.